I'm Nafi, and I'm a cybersecurity analyst and a graduate of Clarusway Cybersecurity Analyst certification program. And what's my story? Well, story is the right word, because before I became a cybersecurity analyst, I worked as a filmmaker and a storyteller, especially a screenwriter. And I was in the job market between 2022 and 23 for 2 years, trying to land a creative position or an arts management position, but unfortunately it's a really niche market. It's a really niche industry to get into. And during the 2023 writer's strike, I figured that in order to continue doing this, I actually need to transition my career into something more sustainable, into something that keeps growing, and there are a lot more opportunities. And that's where Clarusway came to help me, because I needed to get into IT somehow, because I've always heard about IT always having these opportunities and positions, but I didn't know necessarily which sector I want to get into. And I told them that as a screenwriter, what I do is I have ideas. I have these little bits of information, little snippets of themes, of characters, and what I do is I take a step back from what I wrote down and try to make a big picture, a big story from all these little information, from my ideas, from my characters and themes, and try to tell a big story. And the advisors at Clarusway said, "Hey, did you think about cybersecurity?" And I said, "No, not really. What about it?" So as a cybersecurity analyst now, I realized that it was the right decision, because what I do in my job is take a look at bits and pieces, little snippets of information about to alerts, to logs, to these little information that I don't know by themselves what that necessarily means, but then I gather them in my head and take a step back and try to see the big picture, try to sell the big story. And it is exactly what I did with screenwriting. It is funny that what we call creativity, or what we call creative thinking, engineers and people in the IT sector and info sector call analytical thinking. But at first it was really scary getting into this, because I heard that the cybersecurity analyst program at Clarusway was 6 months of extensive training. There was classes every day during weekdays, and I was scared. I was scared into getting into a program that I was not necessarily familiar with. But meeting with my teachers, who, by the way, are industry professionals who work in major companies. Meeting with my teachers, I realized that I was nothing to be afraid of, because just like my classmates, we were all learning everything from the beginning, and our teachers really helped us get into every little bit of theoretical detail, the information that we need to know in order to pass the certifications that we need in the job market, and B, industry tools that we will be using in the job market, such as Splunk, IBM QRadar, CrowdStrike, and all that in detail. So 6 months, it just came and passed. It was a little tougher than that, but it just came and passed. But even after that, we weren't done, because once we had all the information that we needed, then came the job search, which I already told you, I was in a job search before with my other career for 2 years, and this is the part that I was most anxious about. But Clarusway's CMS, Career Management Services mentors, helped me transition my social media accounts, such as LinkedIn, into a professional cybersecurity analyst hopeful account, instead of a filmmaker, a creative filmmaker one. And then we took a look at my resume and made the transition from a creative portfolio into a respectable resume. And then came the job search, which really I was scared about. But unlike filmmaking and creative positions and artistic positions, in cybersecurity there are a lot more opportunities. Just as it's always a growing industry, because just as the methods of trying to bring down the hackers always grow, there's always new technology. Unfortunately, the red teamers, the hackers themselves, they also, the threat actors I should say, they also grow in knowledge. So there's always need for new blood. So there's always new opportunities. And in 3 weeks' time, I was able to land a good position. And I'm happy that it's a remote position. Even though I love coming into my own office, I rent a co-working space near my house. It's a remote position, and it's a position that I only have 3.5 day work weeks. Longer shifts, but 3.5 day work weeks. So I can have some time for myself and my writing and my filmmaking as well. So having said that, I guess if you're like me, who's afraid of making that leap of faith into transitioning into a new career, I can safely say that you can at least give Clarusway a call, send them an email, and talk with the advisors, because they were able to help me find the most relatable career transition from what my background is and what I like to do in life. So, and if you're afraid of this transition, a 6-month transition, at least talk to Clarusway and start your journey to see if it's for you. And I'm sure that you will like it, you will benefit from it, and grow as not only a person, a creative person, or a person in general, but also you will grow as a professional.